Thank you very much. All right, Brother Hamp, go ahead and do your thing.
All right. Tonight, we have a speaker. I will be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure what their topic is, but whatever it is, we're going to be enthusiastic about it because they always come with some good stuff that makes you go, So without further ado, Angela, if you're ready, the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Hamp. I hope I don't disappoint in what you said tonight. I try to come with current events and things that pique my interest, and I hope this piques yours as well. Recently, and I say recent within the next 2 days or so, there was an incident where a famous rapper and his famous wife, who sings, had a confrontation with their son. The rapper was T.I., and the singer was Tiny, and their son is named King. Now, for those that actually know about T.I., you'll know that he has changed and evolved over time. He was this, hard rapper and all these different things. And then he's evolved into a philanthropist, a podcast hoster, a businessman, all these things to make a better way for his children. Tiny's in a singing group. She's done things that, they've just opened up their own low-income living space in Atlanta to help others. So they're giving back and doing all these things. So their middle son, King, was at a game with them in a skybox. And they would just begin teasing him about, you don't know what struggle is. Like, you have no idea, what it is to struggle in life. You never had to struggle. At one point they say you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And he was like, I ain't never had a silver spoon in my life, not even understanding the concept or the term of what they're speaking of. And so he began to lash out at them, and then he began to push his mom and push and shove his dad until it almost became an altercation over how he lives his life. And basically, he wants to live the life that his dad used to. He didn't have to come up. He didn't have to struggle. His dad his parents made sure that his life was much better than theirs. He didn't have to want for anything. But instead of living in a mansion, he wanted to go back to the quote-unquote hood to his grandmother's house because he wanted to struggle. He wanted to live that life, and he wanted to be who his father was. So my question tonight is, are we giving our children so much and making sure that they don't grow up like we did and miss out on opportunities and things that we had to go miss out on because of finances, money, working, or what have you? Are we giving them so much that they can't even recognize that they have it good?
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the floor open?
The floor is open. Miss Yvonne Janae was just about to make a comment.
Oh, just put my seatbelt on or something. So I don't know if we're giving them too much. We're giving them what we want them to have, but they don't have anything to reflect it on, because if they didn't live a certain life, they only know the life that we're giving them. However, they do see other people, and it's odd because easy is not always peasy. They may appreciate becoming more humbled, coming from more humbled beginnings. Thank you.
Okay. I'm not, well, let me back up. You know, I was one of those kids, I didn't know I was poor till I moved out on my own. I always heard my parents say, you know, we do what we do so you all won't grow up like we grew up. Well,
Right.
I understood that simply because my parents grew up in the country. Education was a big thing back then. And when I came along, we were always told, go to school, get your education, go to college, graduate, get you a job, work for 30 years, retire, live happily ever after. Well, that's not exactly how life really goes. Excuse me. Because nowadays, what we do with our kids is something totally different. You got some kids that's making money as in their early teens just by social media. You got some that are out there in that life, so to speak. And it's kind of like, you know, I don't think we're giving them too much. I don't think we're informing them enough of what's to come, what's not to come, what are the consequences if this is what you do, what are the consequences if you do that, you go left, you go right, this is what can happen. I think we have abandoned all of that because those are things we were told. You know, because one of the rules in my house was if you go to jail, guess who you can't call? You can't call home. You know, kids don't have that fear nowadays because the things that are going on around them is just something that's not even second nature. It's something you don't even think about. You know, when I was coming up, you rarely heard about kids playing with guns and stuff. Now that's the norm. You know, that's the norm. I don't see what we're giving being the problem. I see what we're not informing them about is more of the issue than anything else. Because you can give a kid anything you want. It's up to him to perceive how he perceives it. But if you're giving it to him and he's uninformed about it, if he messes it up, you can't be mad because you gave him something that he knew nothing about.
Great point.
And I just kind of feel like that's where we're at with a lot of what we do now. You know, we're giving kids so much because it's easier for us to come by, and it's easier to do that to keep them out of our hair now. Because we want to do so much as parents, young parents are just wanting to be out and do things ourselves. A lot of kids are raising themselves. So I just think it's the lack of information that we're sharing with our children. I think it's the powder and the sugar coating that we're telling them because we don't tell them what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a culture shock to a lot of kids when they graduate to walk out of high school and be like, this is what the world is really like. I'm not prepared.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and daddy didn't tell me this because we want to shelter our kids and give them, quote unquote, the life we never had, not realizing when they walk out that door, it's a whole different ball game out there, a whole different set of rules.
Right.
So I'll get off my soapbox now.
Yeah.
Well,
now
that's a good point.
Oh.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
This is Everett. I was just going to caveat a little bit off of what Hamp said, bring some of my own experience to the table. But I can understand. I think I can see both points. But if T.I. and Tiny, they both probably came up, I won't say underprivileged, but they wasn't brought up in the lifestyle that they're living now. And I don't see anything wrong with them as long as they, you try to explain to the kid, okay, I'm going to help you live your best life and try to prevent you from having to go through what I did. This is why I did what I did. And I saw the error of my ways and straightened up. He turned into a successful businessman, successful guy in the music business. And you wanted your kids to do better than what you did. But you also, like you said, you can't shelter them. You got to explain to them. I mean, you get that parenting at home, explain to them what's to be expected if you want to step out there on the other side. I mean, if this kid want to go stay with grandma in the hood, okay, you go stay with grandma in the hood, and you'll probably be trying to run back to where we are because grandma going to put that hand down unless you probably not able to keep an eye on the kid and he wants to get out there and do bad things. I said, go ahead, do your thing. But I'm like Hamp said, you get in trouble, there's consequences. And who the first people you're going to call? You're going to call your parents. But I think you just have to teach the kid responsibility. Let him know that he is fortunate and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know how most of us, I can't say most, but I know I grew up in a two-parent home. We weren't rich. We weren't dirt poor. But we did a lot worse. And from what my dad had, he provided, and we lived a pretty good life for the neighborhood we lived in, opposed to some of the other kids, and then some of the other kids lived a lot better than we did. But we were always taught those values. Do what you can, but if you get in trouble hard to get into, easy to get into, very hard to get out of. So be prepared for those consequences. But that has to be taught in the home. But I mean, if a guy, most rich kids, I guess, I don't know. It's up to them how they treat their kids. It's good to tell them, hey, you don't understand how good you got it. But if you want to see out there what's on the other side, especially if you're grown, I'm going to let you go taste it. And then you may find out that the advice I gave you or what I was trying to do for you was the right thing. And that's my 2 cents worth for this session, for this part of the session.
All right, this is Deborah. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
All right. Thanks for coming and supporting me, Everett and Hamp. I appreciate it on the shows that y'all came. I just want to say that exactly what you said. I'm piggybacking on everybody, and I think it's important for us to educate our children, to love them, and definitely it's your instinct to want to give your kid the best of everything and more than what you had. And like you said, you got to teach responsibility. But I think another part of that is that we have to go out there and show them the difference. You know, when we talking about educating them, like on Thanksgiving, my daughter used to take her kids out and they would serve a meal, or our church would go out and serve a meal to the people that's homeless. So we would go outside and serve outside. You would get a chance to see the homeless people. Sometimes we would get out and make sandwiches at the church and give it to the homeless people. I think our children don't get a chance to know anything too much about the other side because we so eager to protect and make things better that we haven't made to see what the other side looks like. So now, Monday I have a granddaughter that's turning 18, and I got her a decent job for her starting out. You know what I'm saying? She's making about $15 an hour or so, and she can move up. But I went one day, and I took a taxi, and I said, I'm going to stop by and get you because she needed a way to work. And she was going to get on the bus. So I was like, I'm going to the same location, so I'll come and get you. So I put I added on to my Lyft ride and took her. So when we got ready to come back home, things didn't work out like she planned. She got a little frustrated. So she said, I ain't never going to do this again. This is too much. So I looked at her and laughed. I said, really? It's too much for you? I said, I've taken all the money going and coming for you to go. And I said, I guess I won't do this again to help you out because it's just too much for you. And he said, oh, no, Grandma. I said, no, I just want you to see what you said. You was going to catch 2 buses to get to work today. I came and pick you up. You know what I'm saying? And even though the ride didn't go the same way like we was planning it out, guess what? I paid for us to get home and paid for those 2 rides. So you didn't have a part in this. Sometimes we don't do things and talk to them in a way they can get understanding. I'm letting her know, you're about to turn 18. Is a very different party from being 17 and under. You have to be more responsible for yourself and the things that you want. So in the conversation today, she was frustrated because her time she kept trying to get it in time so she could get paid, and her birthday is Monday, and she's not going to get paid. She said, well, now I don't know what I'm going to do for my birthday because I'm grown, and I can't have anybody putting the bill for my birthday. She wanted the Airbnb and all this other stuff. I said, woohoo, you're grown now.
You ain't said nothing but a word.
Yeah, so then Adrian was messing with her today. And it was like, well, now you grown. Adrian said, well, I'll let you. I was going to do something, but I'll just let you borrow some money because you're grown now. So, and then you can pay me back. I said, whoo, and I'm out of the woods. We out of the woods. Me and my other half, we don't have to give out that birthday money like we usually give. I said, and if we do give something, I'm going to wait until you turn 18 so you can pay me back. She said, no, Grandma, no. But I think that's what it is, that we don't get it. We don't show them the other side, so they think that they want to deal with that other side, and they want to be where they feel like they're going to be pampered. Because she also told her mom, when I get 18, I'm going to stay with my grandmother, and her mother told her, don't come back. After you leave, you're done. And I told her, I said, I know you've been saying that, but your mother taking it serious. And I said, you have to think about what she's saying to you. When you get out the door, you're responsible for yourself. And when you're 18, right, you're responsible for yourself. So it's certain things you can't turn back. Now, it's not like you're 17 and she got to be responsible. Now you're 18 and you got to be responsible. And do you really want to go by somebody else's rules? You know, because my other daughter, she told her son, you're not going to be able to go and live with anybody. You're not going to be a bum laying on anybody's couch. And wherever you go, I'm going to come and I'm going to go off so bad that they're not going to let you stay there because you're not going to be a bum sleeping on somebody else's couch. And if anything, you going to stay right here to this house till you get it together. And when he moved out the house, he moved into his own place. Him and his brother moved in the place together because they know that what their mother said was real. You're not going to be a bum on somebody else's couch. She's not going to allow you to do that. And that same mother was working at a young age with a decent job and have her own franchise now. So she really trying to make sure she teaches them what it is that they need to know as young people, especially men. They have to understand the odds that is against them and how things were set up so that they can be more successful. And we're not helping them if we're not educating them. And we're not helping them if we're not giving those examples and putting them in that setting so they can see the difference.
Right. Especially, our kids, they think they know it all, but they're looking from the outside, and they don't see the inside. They don't see the budgeting part. They don't see the bill paying part. I can go move in with my grandma, but what if you go moving with your grandma and your grandma says, I want $300 a month for every month that you're here? Oh, now I got a budget. Now you want money. I can't go shopping wait, I'm planning on having my birthday party at this Airbnb. Do you know how much it costs? I asked for that today. You know how much it costs? No, I got an idea. I said, how you have an idea? Have you called them and found out how much it costs to be here for a weekend if it's me and 6 friends? Some places won't let people under 21 or under 25 rent out an Airbnb or a hotel room because they're, they proven in the past not to be responsible. And they'll tear up the place and then, not want to pay for their thing. And I said, so she said, well, my friends are not like that. I said, yeah, but the management don't know that. All the management knows is in the past when they have a bunch of teenagers in a room together hanging out or partying, it causes problems because your group is not known as being the most responsible group out there. So you got to keep that in mind. And you can't be responsible for what your friends tear up because they will hold you responsible for it. I said, there's a lot of things you got to consider. You think about, oh, it'd be cool to get an Airbnb and my mom's not invited. I bet you she is, whether you want her to be or not, but it's just, they get this idea of what it's like to be GROWN, and they want to go with that idea. And if nobody's telling them otherwise, that's what they think. So yeah, we gotta talk to them all the time. My godchildren, from when they are 13 years old, that's when they, as my mother used to say, start smelling themselves. We have those conversations. Where would you go if you had to leave home right now? And my godson said, under my bed, because I know my mom has bad knees. She can't find me. I'll just come out at dinner time. But he had a plan. That's his plan. He'll hide under his bed. But we just got to be straight with our young people.
I agree with everything that has been spoken so far. I tried to evaluate things from both sides in that incident. And like Everett said, I could see them wanting their children to have a better life than they had. But if you continue to give them material things and you're not there and giving them the one thing that they want above all else, even when they're being defiant, is love.
That's right.
And attention. And so it gets to the point that, okay, I'm going to go to my grandma's house because grandma's gonna hug me. You know what I mean? She gonna tell me what's right and wrong, but I know she loves me. And my parents just giving me stuff. Like, that doesn't work.
Right.
And so, and then I understand it from his point of view, just wanting to be independent. And because his parents were so famous and well known, I want to make my own mark. I'm not trying to be T.I.'s son. I'm trying to be king. I'm trying to be myself. And I personally understand both sides of that because I grew up not in a small town, but in a small town. I always describe my town as big enough for you to get lost in, but small enough for everybody to know your business.
Mm.
And so living there, my parents, both of them were looming figures. My father was a looming figure in everybody knew him. And if you didn't know him, you knew my mama. So I grew up without a name. I was James' daughter. I was Patricia's daughter. I was never Angela. And my mother was the disciplinarian. And I have what I called a healthy fear of my mother. It was fear because she didn't play, but it was respect, and it was healthy. Because I knew even though she disciplined me, she loved me. But by the same token, my father didn't believe in any disciplinary actions like whippings and stuff like that. He believed that you just take things from a child and they'll feel it more because they won't be able to do the things that they want to do. And so he didn't believe in corporal punishment. And I respected my father to the utmost. And I loved my father. But I didn't have that same healthy fear that I have of my mother. Like I could go to my daddy and be like, Daddy, I got a speeding ticket. I'm not getting paid until 2 more weeks, and today the last day to pay the speeding ticket. He'll huff, he'll puff, he'll fuss, but he'll give me the money. I'm not saying that's a true story at this point. But, Daddy, I want a new car. I rented this car, and I want a car. And he goes to the dealership, call the people up, pull the car out. I'm going to sign for it, but you paying for it. He taught us, responsibility. You had to be responsible. I mean, you had to hear a whole lecture behind it. But he taught you responsibility. And it wasn't until his death that my sisters and I truly understood his rough exterior was his way of showing his love for us. It wasn't the same kind of love that we got from our moms, but it was his kind of love. And so when you have that and you want to be, somebody that, as Cheers say, where everybody know your name, where you don't want to be there, you want to be somewhere completely different, and I don't need everybody to know my name, but if they know it, they know me as Angela. And so moving away, 2 hours away, not even far, just 2 hours away, I've established myself. People don't even, they know of, because I talk about my parents so much, they know of my dad. My mom moved in with me. So she was everybody's mom. So they knew her, but they knew her as Angela's mom, not as Patricia. And so I understand fighting within yourself to have your own identity. And I think a lot of that is what we sometimes do when you are overshadowed and your parents are lavishing you with stuff and allowing you to go through not go through things and sweeping situations under the rug so that you don't get in trouble. So you have no idea of what real responsibility is.
Right.
And from that, you just, like he said, I want to go to my grandma's house. I want to be in the street. I want to play ball. I want to do these things. I don't want to be behind a gate, a gated house. I don't want to do that. I want to be out. And they didn't understand that because they're like, well, we did that. That's not, it's not the greatest thing to do. But you have to let each child be their own individual self. That's the right. Other 5 children, they may not want it. But he wanted that. That's what I wanted his identity to be. And I think when we do that to our children, or as Ham said, shelter them sometimes and keep them away from harm and block things from coming in their direction. In the sense, we're thinking, but we're making it better for them. Like they don't have to face the things that we face because we're making a better way. Sometimes some of that it does actually backfire because then they don't know what life is like.
Right. And
get out on your own. You may be at home until you graduate from college because you stay close to home or what have you. And then you go out in the quote-unquote real world and have to get a job and get a place to stay and you have to pay bills and you have to do it. And, being an adult does not always feel good. But you don't know that because all your parents showed you was life was easy.
The easy part, right.
They never showed you the hard part. And that, for me, is part of the respect that I will always have for my mother. Because when things were tight, after my parents divorced and things were tight, she sat down with me and said, this is how much we got, and this is how much we need to spend, and this is how much we're going to have left over. I may not be able to get you everything you want right now, but I'm going to make sure we got everything we need.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught me that, and that went a long way with me. But a lot of kids don't get that. They don't get that parent just breaking it down, at 12, 13, 14 years old. Look, this is what we got. I can't get you the extra bike or, the new pair of shoes or whatever. I can't get you that right now. And if you explain it to them and talk to them and just have honest, open conversations, you would be surprised how much children understand and how resilient they actually are. But a lot of parents, as Hamp would say, are younger parents, and it's a different vibe, as a younger parent, because I'm still out in the street trying to have fun. I don't have time to teach him everything and teach her everything that needs to go on. She gonna get it. That's not always the case, but that's my soapbox, and I'll open the floor back up to others.
I wanted to say, in other cultures, what happens is they really teach their children the basics. Like, we know when it's a Jewish family or whatever, they open that bank account and they teach them the percentage of money they have to save. They teach them how much to put, like in the church, we teach them tithing, we teach them saving, we teach them offering, we teach them about priorities, putting things in order, first things first. Some people don't, so they don't have that. But like me, as a grandma, yes, they know if they come to grandma, she's going to spoil them, she's going to get what they need. And I learned how not to say what I'm going to do, just to do what I'm going to do, because I don't want them sitting and waiting for what I'm going to do, But also I learned that because sometimes the parents are doing a lot or whatever, or they're expecting a lot, and they just think it's just automatic, that I had to teach my grandchildren responsibility. So I had a few of them that had phone service that I paid for, and I bought phones. So I said, okay. I bought the phone, and it was supposed to be one plan. After a while, unlimited talk and text and have enough gigabytes. So I said, all right, for me to pay this bill on a monthly basis, I'm going to have you come over for one day, and you're going to work a couple of hours. And that got to be a problem. So much so that the one that just turned 17 a couple of weeks ago, I had to take her phone back from her. And I said, you're not getting it back, because the level of respect and not doing what it is that you need to do, having that commitment, you know what I'm saying? And they just knew that was going to go back to her, and she just came to get her to log herself out of her Instagram and all of that, and was in tears. But I said, I think I taught her a lesson, a valuable lesson, because a lot of times the kids they will tell you, they know our character, and they know, if I keep on with mom, she said this and that, but in a day or so, she's going to get my phone back. She said that she's going to do this and do that, but she ain't going to really do it. I said, I don't really think that we're going to carry it out, so we don't show that we have control, and they are trying to be in control. And that's what they really want. They want to have that control. And we're not showing them the right things if we're not giving them discipline, because sometimes a kid just feel like they can get away and do whatever they want to do, and when they get out there in that real world, it's not the same thing. So we have to teach them all of these lessons before they even get out the door, and that's why I start changing it up and start talking to them very different and saying, listen, you have to be responsible, you have to pay bills. I even told my granddaughter turning 18, yeah, you have a job, but you have to pay rent now. You're going to be 18. Your mother no longer responsible for you. Oh, well, Grandma, I'm still in school. That's not her fault. you're 18 now, you have to learn that you have to do something, pay a bill, something, cable, phone, something. Because she got a nice king-size bed, color TV up on the wall and all of that. So a lot of kids don't have that. You know what I'm saying? And I said, you have to learn responsibility. Everything you get is not go in your pocket, you know, because they think everything they earn, they're going to be at home, they're going to earn their money, and you still going to do everything for them and take care of them. And so I'm just having these conversations and these talks with them now, hoping that it registers with them so that they can do the right thing. I told them, you can't stay anywhere for free.
That's what parents always say, you know, but I was a smart aleck kid. I said, I bet you I can, you know. But she said, you're going to have to pay some way, you know, pay some way. You may not have to always pay cash, but you're going to have to pay for where you stay. But my mother, I liked the way she did it. From the first time we had a job, we had a summer job. I don't care how much you're making, a percentage is going to the house. And in my case, it was 20% of my paycheck had to go to the house. No ifs, ands, or buts. We're not going to have a discussion. You live here. You eat here. You use our electricity. You use our cable. You know, you're going to, anywhere you go, you're going to have to pay in some way. And so, but what she did, you know, from when I had my summer job and then, you know, in high school I worked and then junior high school I worked. Okay, I said it backwards. But when each of us, and we didn't know this until we all talked to each other, there's 8 of us, talked to each other like years down the line, and I said, you know, when I moved out on my own, Mama had a bank account for me. She said, okay, this is where your money is, you know, the money, every time you gave me $20, I put 10 in the bank account for you. And I said, why didn't you tell me? She goes, because then you would have been like, I want my money. I want my money. She said, you know, and I said, yeah, you're right, I would have been. You know, but I went to college, and even when I went to college, when I was working, I was in that habit. I was, Ma, you need something? Because she was working part-time. I said, do you need something? And she said, no, I'm good, and I would send her something anyway, just because that's what she taught me to do. That's how you show appreciation, you know. So, but I sure appreciated that bank account, you know, because it helped me when I got out of college to put a deposit on my first apartment, you know. So, and she said, and that's what it's for, you know. So now you have to maintain your own bank account, you know. And so it taught me a number of lessons, you know. But it's that's parental love. You know, it's tough love. I'm not going to let you get away with everything, but I'm going to teach you about life so that when you're out on your own, you're not struggling. You don't have to move in with some man because you can't afford to pay your own rent. You know, you don't have to, you know, bow down to anybody because you need that somebody. And her house rule was the same. You know, moving out, coming back, moving out, coming back, moving out, coming back. I was the only exception because I moved out when I went away to college. You know, so when I came back, I stayed in the house about 8 months, less than a year, and then I moved on to Florida. But, you know, my mother, the rules were clear. You know, don't think you grown and want to move out and then want to come back 6 months later, you know, because, of, you know, no, ain't nobody going to take care of you like your mama will.
Right. And I love that the men teach their kids. The men seem to be very stern. And so when the kids get at a certain age, they understand because Daddy said, when I get 18, I better be able to hold it down and do for my own. And that's the end of the road. You got to handle it yourself. And for some reason, that fear that they instill in them, it usually works, you know. And so we got to toughen up. And I like the plan where the mother gave the kid, you know, until you're 25, go to college, come home, work, save, 25, you out, and you ain't coming back. Because this way you got more leverage. You got time to get it together. I ain't got to look back and I don't have no regrets about anything. You're definitely on your own. So we do have to have an exit plan. And we have to have a plan that we feel like they're stable and they're strong enough and wise enough to handle it. So we just have to figure out what that is.
Yeah. And stop being a protective mama. You know, you got to let them go when they're ready to go. Somebody's talking.
All right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That means, hello?
Y'all said the men were silent. So I'm coming back. This is Everett again. I have a daughter. Next year, she'll be 50 years old. And a lot of, okay, let me see. Single mom, born when I was a senior in high school. So I had a chance to go to school, do some things. Wasn't really there. I mean, I was there for the kid. You know, I'd take her to the house. She'd come with me for weekends and birthdays. She never wanted for nothing. Christmas, never wanted for nothing. She had a brother and a sister who are not my kid. And they still, I think, have the utmost respect of me today because every time my kid got something for Christmas anyway, those kids got something as well. So,
okay. Awesome.
So what I'm trying to say is we have a wonderful relationship. She has 2 sons, and the oldest one, he's 22, and he's still at home. The other boy, he left. He's in Dallas. He was working at FedEx, but he's always wanted to play basketball, college ball. So he quit his job because he couldn't do both, and went out, walked on a basketball team and made it. So he's going to school. The other boy, he works, but he's the one that always, Papa. I helped him get a car about 5-6 months ago. But now almost every month, Papa, I need money for gas. So I throw him out a little money, and he got a job. So, but I think it was 2 weeks ago, he called me and said, Papa, I forget his girlfriend's name, it's so-and-so's birthday. I want to take her out. I said, stop. I said, look, first of all, I said, get the money from your mama, because she owed me a couple of dollars. Mama called, said, you say give Gino the money? Because he didn't know. I said, yeah, I told him that to get the money from you. I said, but I also told him, look, guy, Papa can help you. But if I keep helping you, enabling, I said, you'll never be that guy to take responsibility. And I said, now you have a job. But I said, but the job you have, unless you're going to be the corporate manager, you're never going to make any money. There's other jobs that you can get, or you can do like your brother, go to school, and you can still work. And both of them very smart kids. I said, you have to sometimes just tell them, hey, I can't do it anymore. I will help you as long as you're trying to help yourself. But if I continue to help you, you'll never grow up to be a man. And I think he got the message because I hadn't heard from him in a couple of weeks. And I also tell him, I said, you never call me until you want something. It's always then, how you doing, Papa? Everything good? Yeah, everything's good. How are you? But like I said, I was in and out of my parents' house until I joined the Army, almost. I got married late. And the old lady would get mad at me. I'd, go hang out at buddies' houses or whatever. Mama said, you can always come home. Mama was going to let me come back home. But I said that wasn't, really what you want to do at that stage of your life. But sometimes you just have to go back and get that little grounded, and you figure your way out, and you go ahead and do what you got to do. But like I said, didn't live a privileged life. But being the oldest, I was kind of the spoiled guy. And one brother went on. He always was independent, did his own thing. He's a minister now, and works at a very, decent job, and wife just retired, and they doing well. But I look at all of us, how we came up, humble beginning, and we're all doing a lot better than the parents did.
Right.
And I think that's the goal. Every parent wants their kid to do better than they do.
Right.
My daughter, she's a rebel. She does what she wants to do, but she has raised those kids. Excuse me, I've been a little bit on the weather the last couple of days. But she has a decent job and doing her thing. She is doing what she does. But I said I take my hat off to her because she raised those two boys when their dad has been like 15 years incarcerated, and he got out as the oldest one graduated, and he's slowly working his way back into their lives. So, but. Different people have different values, but and everybody has a different way they want to bring their kids up and run their family. So, but I said, now one thing that you said at the beginning of the show is the little boy got violent with the mom and dad. And I think if they hadn't been in a public venue, he might have got his hat brought to him. And he might have, but going back to that, this kid doesn't really know how good he's got it, and they might have to let him venture out. Don't know how old the young man is. Might have to let him venture out and find out that the grass is not always greener on the other side, and you find out how good you really had it. Because you never miss that water till your well runs dry.
Mhm.
All right.
Preach.
I can agree. Thank you for that insight, Mr. Everett. He actually is about 17 or 18, and it did get a little touchy. He almost got his hat handed to him in public. And so...
I need some gas money.
Okay, grandson. You got a job. I'm gonna tell you, like I told him, I said, you get paid every so often. You got to have money for your gas, and your girlfriend's birthday was a year ago, so you should have started planning for then to take her out.
I did, but the car got thirstier.
He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. I love him. I went home last year for my college homecoming, so I told my daughter, I said, I'm taking the boys to go to the football game. It was only $5 to get in. It was cool. And then, we got in the truck. I let them drive. I said, I'm kick back. Hey, Pawpaw, it's all right if April come to the game. I think that's her name. I don't remember. Anyway, he goes, she come to the game. Do I got to pay her way? I said, yeah, that's your woman. You supposed to pay her way. I said, but look, it ain't $5. It's 4 of us, $20. We going to the game, but y'all buying your own popcorn or whatever. I'm not buying everything. Now they do some other things. I said, you got money to buy that? You can pay for your girlfriend to do what she got to do. But yeah, grandson, you need some gas. I'll let you, boy. I need gas too.
You might need to give him some gas money, Papa. You might need to get some references before you do that.
Yeah, right. You're right.
Don't start giving gas money out on this show.
This is Dr. James. I just want to say something about. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
All right. I want to say that, like I said, that the child should have a certain age when he should pretty much leave. But when you try to help them, because every situation is different, sometimes you try to help them, like if they're going to school or they don't have a job or whatever the case. But sometimes they will take advantage of that, and they get spoiled. Because that's the situation I got now. I got my son, he's 27 years old. Now, he done went to college for 4 years. Played football, and he had several jobs. He moved in. He lived here all the time. He moved out with his girlfriend around the corner for a little while. Then he signed the lease to pay the rent with her half and half. Then he came back home. So he's back and forth. But you try to help your kids. That's the way I look at it. You try to help them. But when do you say, okay, you got to be that man to stand on your own? When do you do that? There's no age for that, right?
Oh, Dr. Can I say something?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to tell them the age is when you get tired.
Exactly.
When you get tired of the back and forth, that's the age.
No, that's the age, like you were saying about pop up. I need money for this, need money for that. I'm getting that stuff now. So I done got it. Now, this is a situation. Now, for 2 or 3 years, nobody wasn't. I was giving money, lending money, this and that. So now, he was working at the time, still borrowing money. So I never charged him no rent or nothing, live in the house. But he's saying he got this amount. He wouldn't never tell me how much money he's making for working. He's working from home on the computer. So when the IRS, somebody sent something, tax people sent something to the house. So me and him have the same name. So I opened it up. It turned out that he made $62,000 that year, last year. Didn't give me not one dime and borrowed money off of me. So I said, okay, that's enough. You're going to have to pay. Anytime you borrow money from me, you pay me back. So he drive Mercedes Benz, but it ain't brand new. But Mercedes Benzes are expensive to maintain. Every time something breaks, the parts are very expensive. So he had to get the brakes fixed or something else. And he said he put the car in the shop. He told me that he told the guy just to give him tires, but he said the guy went and fixed the brakes and everything. So he thought he was going to pay only for the tires. Even the tires are expensive on Mercedes. But he thought he was just going to pay for the tires, and he turned around. He said, the guy says $2,700, and he don't have the money. And he bought $2,700 from me. He wanted to borrow. So now he promised me, I'm going to pay you back $500 a week. I guarantee I'm going to pay you this and that. You pay me $250 once, $350 once, and you pay me again. So now I want my money. Am I wrong?
No. No,
He's
absolutely not.
not getting unemployment, but he's still getting a check. Okay. Because there ain't no reason for him not to be working. He got 4 years of college.
Mm-hmm.
And riding around Mercedes. I don't even get no rides hardly in the Mercedes. Yeah, he lives better than me. I'm paying for the darn car. Pretty much, because he ain't had to pay me no rent or nothing. All you got to do is pay for the car.
Dr. James.
A whole lot of times I'm buying them gas.
Mm-hmm.
So that's true. See, it's about time well, I hate to say it like this, but
yeah, y'all need to have a conversation.
You got to shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, y'all need to have that come to Jesus.
Yeah.
Amen.
I done had it, but I'm at the point right now. I'm gonna have to just, if you don't give me my money, I'm gonna have to just say you can't get out. You know what I mean?
But Dr. James.
You know what, Dr. James? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Dr. James, I feel your pain. Now I have my children that I have to raise alone. So what I want to say to you, the kids know you, and the grandkids know you. They know what they can, the bull they can pull over your eyes. They know when, I want to say about it, they know when we're a sucker for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
They know your weak points and your strong points.
They know that they can come with a sob story and we're going to give it to them. They know that we want the best for them. You know what I'm saying? When my first daughter was dating and she was going out and they had kids and the birthday of her boyfriend came, I want to do nice things for her. And I felt her pain because he gave her nice things. She was wearing the tennis bone bracelets and name the necklace with her name. So he gave her nice things. So I was like, I understood. But okay, then you want to get him a Maveyo watch. It's $1,500, and my dollar's going in there too. Okay, and then you want to go and do the next thing and the next thing, and you want to go take them out to Scott's Manor. That's expensive up here. The Manor, and you took it about $100 a plate or something, $100 for them to go out. And I'm talking about somebody that's still in their teens now. Okay. But see, and then the other kids watch it, and then so everybody expecting you to do the same thing, and I had to go all the way down, child by child, and establish that I'm not going to be in this game. And when you are not doing what they want you to do, you are no longer their friend. They don't care what's going on with you, whether you up or down. To them, I told Adrian, to two of them, they told me I was dead to them. When you start making changes and you stand up for what you know is right to do, it's hard. But we only do what we do for them because of the love, and we try to understand. But at the same time, we being played. You understand what I'm saying? And
exactly.
So
that's what I'm saying. If you be too nice, they take advantage.
All right, so you got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired and just lay it down. And don't do it in anger when you angry. You sit and you think about it because you don't want to make things worse than what it got to be, but at the same time you're going to mean what you say and say what you mean. So when you say it, that's it. Ain't no going back. Even if you second guessing yourself inside, because my youngest, I said, you can't get not $1 from me because I don't like the way that she handled things that I put in her hands. And her attitude, that that sense of entitlement, that you got it like that and you don't got to be responsible, and she messed up. So I want you to feel my pain. And now because I got those beautiful grandchildren, you feel like they can come to me and tell me what the issue and problem, and I'm going to get sucked in from the grandkids. I have to shut that down too. Because now it's not that we don't know. We just allow it because we want to be a help. And we say, they really can use this. They really need that. I could do that because I don't want them to suffer. But sometimes them suffering is the only way they're going to ever get it. So we got to lock the door and let them be outside the door. And they're going to figure it out because he has the education. He has the knowledge. But as long as you say, he came to stay with you and then you guess he got spoiled. No, he was spoiled before he came to stay with you. You already spoiled him. He knew he could come to you, and he came to you. And then when we let people be in our house and we want to resent them because they ain't paying a bill or doing nothing to give us nothing, but we already established that. You can use me as long as you want to, because I ain't going to accept nothing for you. I just want you to get yourself together and get out the house. And they say, I'm going to juice you as long as I can. I had that done. And when you ask somebody to start paying the bill and being responsible, all you talk about is money. That's all you want. But guess what? Every bill that get paid, I have to pay it. And guess what? If you want Chinese food, you want me to pay for that, and pizza too. So I pay for all the bills. I got to pay all the supplies. I got to make sure there's electric and gas and water, transportation, clothes on your back if needed to be, which most likely is going to be a part of it too. And then all the treats and everything in between, money in your pocket. And you want to go out and do all this. We set ourselves up for this.
You know what he said to me? I said, well, he's supposed to give me $500 a month rent, but, we'll see. But he said, every time I give you money, all you do is go and buy McDonald's or buy takeout food or something.
Now he want to be in control of what you buy.
I'm not supposed to eat that.
That ain't none of his business what you do with your money.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
How do he think the bills get paid in the house? How he think the light's still on or you buying his McDonald's?
Now I'm not supposed to eat either. So he can keep his money in his pocket. Even though I don't have to eat McDonald's, they eat something. What?
Dr. James, just a quick question. He still drives the Mercedes?
Yeah.
Then why don't you confiscate the Mercedes until you get your money back? You can go through the courts and do that.
But I never wanted. If I had to go to court, I could. But
wouldn't that be teaching him responsibility?
And it may boil down to that. It may boil right down to that.
But that's a process.
Now, me and his mother separated, so he got her paying his car insurance. And he got to pay her, but he put in her name, but he got to pay her for the car insurance. But sometimes he don't even pay her, so.
But that's because
y'all. She can pay the car insurance, but I'd have the car.
But the car is in her name, and the car. The
car is in his name. But listen, that's one of the options I got. I put all my options on the board, and that's one of my options. Just what you said. Yeah.
The hardest thing to do is just say no.
Yes. I just don't feel like I don't have the energy to be running back and forth to court, but I could do it if I want to, The same thing with I done took him to court one time before. Because of something else he did. I don't remember what. I threw him out the house and had to go to get a restraining order. I put him with the court, but then I let him come back to the house,
That's what we have to learn how to just say no, just like drugs. We gotta say no to our kids, no to our grandkids.
Listen, Deborah, he's like your grandson, the boxer. He's a football player. He lifts weights and he got a big, football mouth yelling and he gets a big mouth. And I'm the only one that yell back at everybody else. He intimidates people with his mouth, or me.
Nah. That's why he had an attitude, Dr. James. So that's why you have to. Yeah. That's why you have to put your foot down and just let him know. You don't have to argue with nobody. You don't have to go back and forth with anybody. You just set the law down and you do what you do. It has been an instance that when I said enough is enough, you come home and the locks is changed. That's just it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've done that. Not to him, but I've done that to other people.
Yeah, so sometimes
when I live somewhere else, I told people you gotta leave, and I asked somebody there to change the lock as soon as they left.
That's
right. They want to try to come back, but I don't feel. I did that when I was younger. I'm 63 now. I don't want to have to go through all that mess. I could, but it's
You got to think about what you're going through on a daily basis, what you feel. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have somebody that stay with you and they doing all of these things and you paying all the bills, you'll go through some type of emotional, thing because and you taking yourself through it every day when you can have more peace being by yourself. So, you got to just figure out when enough is enough. And then you just put your foot down. It's not going to be easy. I had to do it. And the last time my baby came back, she had kids and stuff like that. I told her, she said, can I come home? I said, no. And then she said, what? I said, no. I said, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to call the shelter because I see the situation she was in, but she put herself in the situation. But at the same time, I wasn't going to put myself in the situation because now you're in your 30s and you have 5 kids. You understand what I'm saying? And now my heart is bleeding, and I'm going to do all the stuff I shouldn't be doing, and I'm setting you up for failure again so you could be dependent on me, and I could be stressed out. I set up her in the shelter. I made all the necessary calls, help her make a move, and she was just looking at me like, I can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? She spent 6 months in there, and then when it came time for her to move into place, everything supposed to be done. I made sure she got the money from everywhere but me because there's been times I give my whole check for her to get into place or whatever. But no, I was like, no, I'm not doing all of that. I'm learning from my mistakes. So guess what? She needed that 1 week. I told her no for that 1 week, but it wasn't her fault. So I let her stay for that 1 week, and I stayed on top of her. But guess what? It's been 3 years, and she don't need to come back to me. And now what she's dealing with right now, she's figuring it out without me. But that's because I had to put my foot down, and I had to understand. I made the problem, so I need to correct the problem. So you make the monster, you got to deflate the monster. And that's what I said I got to do so she could get on the right track. And it's not by arguing, fussing, and fighting and going through all this dramatic stuff. I just said I figured out the way, and I stuck with the plan, even though it was bothering me. And I couldn't let nobody else know how I felt about it. I just stood with that strong, faith, that poker face, and I did what I had to do. And she's getting together, and I'm going through her house. So she got in there, all new furniture, TVs up on the wall, entertainment, all of this stuff, putting everything in there, figuring it out. And they ain't come out my pocket because I had to just learn how to say no. Normally, I would have had all that planned out. It would have came all out my pocket, and every meal and every treat after that would come out my pocket too. And people think that I'm the money tree, and I said I don't know how I'm a money tree on the fixed income, but I do know that I'm extremely blessed, and I get what I want and more than what I need. So because of what I go out and do, God has blessed me tremendously. But, people are tapping into your blessing like it's theirs, and what you establish for yourself as is theirs. And it will deplete you of your energy, how you feel about yourself, your joy, and everything. So you have to learn and put in your mind the day that you're going to stop and stick with it and say enough is enough. Because if not, you'll probably...
And some of these people, they borrow money from you forever, and then you go back to try to borrow money from you broke, I'm going to give you $5.
I know, I don't care about nothing from them. But you got to just say no. Remember, it's like a drug, Dr. James. Just say no.
Well, I learned my lesson. I'm in the process now. I'm just waiting to see the next move. Like I said, I don't like to be stressed out. But if I have to, I have to. You know what I mean? If I got to run back and forth to court and all that, I'll do it.
Something, Mr. James, sometimes we talk too much to our kids, and they know us better than we know ourselves. And they just have to practice some tough love. When he wanted to come back, and he should have had talk from then and tell him about rent and bills and what he's going to put. He's driving a Mercedes. How much he paid for that? I'm sure he has to pay that every month, whether it's leased or bought. So you should have discussed with him early our rent, lights, gas, food, whatever it is. But sometimes we, as parents, also to We love our kids so much, we sort of become afraid of what they will think about us, or they leave us and they walk out and we don't see them. No, just practice a tough love. No is no. This is the bills of the month. How much are you going to put it? He used to pay a Mercedes, right? He doesn't have a Honda.
No, he don't have no car payment. He bought the car from one of his friends cash. So
right,
he
but
don't
it's
have no payment.
a Mercedes is like an iPhone. Every single thing you have to do, you have to go back to the dealership.
Yeah, it's expensive, very expensive to maintain. Yeah.
Yeah, but if he wanted to maintain and doesn't have any money, he would have a less expensive car. Or if
he said he could borrow it from me.
He leave his girlfriend, and I guess because of the same probably financial thing, she must be having to do everything by herself. So his father is easy pickings. He comes to dad, and dad loves him so much, so dad does everything, trying not to say anything.
As
so
I said, it's spoiled.
No, you need to get mad sometimes. So, telling me you're going on a vacation and you're locking up the house and he has to find somewhere to go. You see where he was not to pay every bill, buy every meal, wash his clothes, lights, gas, soap. Kids get it easy because they know they could get it easy. But if you make a stipulation and he slip up once, you say, oh, he's my son, or da. No, you come with it.
No, I mean, like you said, I mean, he don't buy not one bag of food for me or for the house. Don't buy no laundry detergent. We got wash machines, so he don't buy no detergent. Don't buy no. But he eat up my food, and like I said, he made $62,000. He could have chipped in and bought some stuff for the house. Yeah?
Some families have less than that, and they have kids, rent, lights, gas, food, school fees, bus fares. So he hasn't made in the shade.
No, that was just for him. That's his money. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
His money is your money when he lives by you. He living by you. It does not, if he was in a motel, he had to pay for the night every day or however weekly. If he buys his girlfriend, he has to help do something. Seriously, by you, he has to do something. But you're not saying it, demanding it, I should say.
Oh, no, I'm demanding it. He got to supposed to pay me, but
I'm sure you must be
I'm going to have to take the next step now.
On the issue. You have to sit down with him quietly, maybe take him out to the same McDonald's he tell you he's spending money on, and have a meal with him and probably tell him what it is. He has till the end of the month to leave, or this is a new year coming, this is how it's going to be, not what you think, and I would like you to do this. You stipulate. It's your house.
No, but they have laws. Like people stay in the place for a certain amount of time. Sometimes you can't just put them out. You got to take them to court.
No,
Dr. James, you know when you get tired? When you get tired of him, Dr. James, you know you're not going to care about what no courts are saying. Right. And I let people know that, too. I roll with you. I know the law. So I know if you want to do it the right way or the wrong way, I'm one of those persons that do both ends against the middle. I'll cover myself. I'll do the court thing if I need to do the court thing, but if I feel like enough is enough, I'm going to get you up out of here. And I'm not going to fuss and fight with nobody. I'm going to put my foot down. So, Dr. Judge, it's just a matter of when you get to that point that you say enough is enough. That's it, because like you said, you have changed your locks before and everything else, and you have to learn that after you put him out this time that he don't come back. I don't think you want to grow into your ripe old age with him living with you taking care of him. Just think about how much money you would save on laundry detergent and food alone.
Yeah, but I want to help my kids.
That's the problem.
You get to the point.
You get to a point where the help. It's not helping.
Public
because
service
you teach him to be. Yes.
He wants to help, but your help might be the one he needs.
In 1995, we can remove your children from home.
Yes. And Dr. James, you teaching him to be lazy. He's never going to have a good relationship with a female.
Right.
Or anybody else he's living with because he feels like he can get over. So his mentality is he's going to keep on getting over. So that's why he can't stay with his girlfriend, because she has to be responsible, whether he's responsible or not. So they're going to keep on having a fight because he knows that he does not have to be responsible because he can go to granddaddy's house and do what he want to do. So that's why he can go back and forth between.
That's my son. It's not
your son. So I'm just saying. So when she get lonely, he can go over there and stay, but he can't stay forever because guess what? She got to pay all them bills, and she's gonna be angry because he's not being a responsible person. So our kids have more problems because we don't teach them to be responsible. If he felt like he had to pay bills and do what he had to do, he would not be coming over your house like that because he's in and out your house right now. So that means that there is more that he want to be doing, but he don't have to be responsible, so he's staying at your house.
The best thing he could do is get with one of these women and get married.
No,
nobody gonna marry him like that. That's your fault. You teach him that, and I would not marry him with his degrees and jobs and Mercedes because he don't know how to be responsible, and that's you.
The Mercedes. I drive a Mercedes, so he's like, playing the thing. But Mr. James, you could just sit with your son and talk to him. You give him an ultimatum. This is 2 months, and you shape up or you ship out. Shape up or ship out.
Yeah, I know that's what's going to happen probably.
You sound like
beginning next month. Beginning next month. What?
You sound like you're too soft and you're afraid that he leaves.
No, you know what? I'm 63 years old. I'm exhausted with these kids. I done raised 5 kids, and I'm exhausted with these kids.
No, you need to put your foot down and say to him, you could make up a plan. I mean, listening to you talk over the show, you're, I should say, eloquently angry at times. And you could say...
Oh, yeah, I got the plan. I'm getting ready to tell him he's going to have to leave if you don't give me my money.
You don't have to do it hostily.
That's the plan.
Very calmly.
What?
You don't have to be hostile to it. You can just do it calmly, but you are encouraging him. And no woman wants a man like that. And he's at the age, most kids, I have a girlfriend, a steady girlfriend. They don't be back and forth. They own their own, or not own, but have an own apartment, or they live with the girlfriend and they share. They have to put money. There's no ifs and ands and buts about it. He has to.
All I got to tell
I'm
you,
over to get with the girl like that.
All I got to tell you is whether it's with him or any person that has the same issues, you'll know when you get tired. And when you get tired, then you'll do what it is you need to do.
Yes.
So you ain't tired yet.
He ain't
but
tired.
When you get tired, you'll know.
Yeah, he's not tired yet.
You'll know.
He loves the company.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm getting tired.
When you get tired, it'll be more action and less talk.
Yeah, exactly. That's what, I had an acronym for that. MALT. Okay? So put it into use. So you sit in your bedroom and make a thing, lock his door, something. He live in a life of luxury. I'm sure he have his own bedroom.
Oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
Right. He has a driveway or car park or car space. He doesn't have nothing to worry about with you. He's made it, you making it easy for him, and you making it bad for other people for him.
I remember my son had company one day, and he was in his room, and I'm calling him. When you're a mother and you have boys, they just they feel like I'm a man, so they don't really have to listen to their mother. I said, right. I'm calling him and his girlfriend telling him, your mom calling you, he ignoring me. I went and snatched the door off his room, and I went and took it outside and threw it in the dumpster. He said, jumped up, he's like, what? I'm like, no. You can't hear me? I mean, because listen, I'm not doing that. I gotta take care of you, and it's just too much, So you just gotta just let them know it's too much. And weigh on you, and you thinking about this stuff when nobody else is thinking about it because you feel some type of way about it because you know that they can do way better than what they're doing, and this is the situation. And I'm looking at this series on one of the apps, and it's something about the neighbors, and they get into all these stupid altercations and people losing their lives and everything because people don't just have serious conversations and back out of certain situations. So I'm bringing that up to say this too, Dr. James. You saying your money. Sometimes we're going to do it as the money and just let people go. Sometimes it's not even worth the money or the principle or the point. You just have to make sure you walk away with your peace of mind and that you can just be happy and do you. So you just have to back out the situations and sometimes let them keep the money. And that's what I did. I learned in the situations where my money out there, I let it be out there. I did the wrong thing. That's on me. But now I'm going to walk away from them because it's not worth me losing more than what I've already lost.
Right.
My peace of mind, my freedom, everything that I accumulated, everything that you have so much of, you know, you don't want to lose that trying to get back something that you already lost. So just walk away from it and have that peace. Lock your doors. It feels so good to go in your house and don't have to worry about somebody touching this and touching that and arguing with somebody and going through these mood swings and being, you know, some type of way about this, that, and the third. It's a whole different thing. It's worth giving up the money for. You have to have the peace.
Well, like I said, sometimes you can spoil them. You try to help out too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but you could change it. That's it. It's never too late. You could start anew. Do something different.
Hey, my father, when I got about 20-something, he used to pick arguments with me. I ain't doing any little thing. I just used to start arguing. So I got mad. So he wanted me to get mad and leave the house. Yeah, he wanted me. He wanted me to. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. You know, got me a little room or something. I rented a room. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't want that for him, so that's why I guess you're acting like that, right?
Yeah, I tried not to be like that, though, but you know what I mean? Sometimes you have to.
Well, I hope in next month I hear something different from you, Mr. James.
Yeah, I ain't worried about that. But listen, I know how to do it. Like I said, I done threw them out about 3 times already and let them come back. So I know how to do it. But I just didn't feel like going through all that nonsense again.
You shouldn't have to.
I may have to.
Give him one last talk. Give him, sit and have a conversation.
Yeah, get out.
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's pretty much bottom line. And let's do something, you know. That's
the only conversation we got left to have.
Yeah, because
maybe he needs your backup support for that.
No, I tell you, the bottom line is, I said, what did I bust my behind for you to go to college for 4 years for? Well, I mean, you could be doing good, you know.
Yes.
He was in college for several reasons, but the bottom line is, you know, because he was on the football team, he joined the fraternity, so they did a lot of partying in school. And at first, we thinking that maybe he got hit in the head too much with playing football. I don't know. I'm serious. We were thinking about that.
It could happen.
Because he get outraged, like he start going into rages and stuff. You know, like yelling and slamming the doors and all kinds of stuff like that.
The issue is bigger than we think.
Maybe.
It might be. You know?
Get a counselor.
But you won't get no help with that. Now, I just ignore it. Like if you start slamming, I said, don't bang on my doors now. I ignore it because I'm from Brooklyn. I'm used to people yelling and screaming and stuff. So that ain't getting me upset. But I don't want nobody banging my doors and slamming my refrigerator door and all. You know, so something can break. Now I don't want that now.
You know, a lot of things I've heard throughout the night. The one thing that just keeps coming to mind is some parents are afraid of their children.
Okay. I ain't afraid of them. I'm the only one that ain't.
No, not to say that you are, but I'm not saying you are, Dr. James. I'm saying, but there are some parents that are literally afraid of their children.
Sometimes we love them too much.
And also, some people want to take on the responsibility. What if I don't do this? If you don't do it, then they have to figure out a way for it to get done. Even if you need help, then he'll have to figure that out. But as long as you're in the picture, he doesn't have to do anything he needs to do for himself because you have taken on the responsibility. So technically, he's not even a man right now. He's a male because you are being that responsible party for him as if he is a child. And as long as you do that, he will not grow into the person that he's supposed to be or step into those shoes that he's supposed to step in because you're not allowing him to do that.
Well, that's what his sister's saying.
It's true. So. I have my own little ones that I did this, Dr. James, sometimes my 5. Okay, and they friends. And when you start seeing the pattern over and over again, you can't argue what's right in front of your face. And if everybody's telling you the same thing, they're not telling you the same thing for nothing. And so, yes, I bet your daughter wouldn't marry anybody that does what your son does. If it was another man, they're doing the same thing, she wouldn't because she recognizes the difference because you taught her the difference. But because it's your child, you're allowing him to do those things. And really, when you do that, you're allowing him to hurt other people, too, because that girl she must be in love with him for him to run back and forth. But she know not to step one.
He got another girlfriend now. But
I'm just saying, whoever
he can get the girlfriends because you know what? He's a football player. He's a weightlifter. He's riding around a Mercedes. So he can get the girlfriends. But that don't mean they're going to marry.
That's what I'm talking about right there. I'm saying you're not going to be able to keep anybody like that because they can see that, and that's just considered straight lazy and selfish. So he's very focused on self right now. He doesn't care about your feelings or theirs. He's about himself right now, and he can do that because you're allowing him to do it. Okay. And that's what we have to realize, that we are the enablers in these different situations. It's just like us enabling somebody to be on drugs. You are enabling him in his situation right now to be irresponsible. And this is blocking him from being able to get to the point that he can be stable enough to get to settle down. Nobody wants to marry somebody like that. And that's what they're going to look at him. He look good. He have the education, so I'm sure that he very well poised. He got that Mercedes. It's going to attract attention, but when it get down to the real deal and them seeing how responsible he is and how he moves, nobody's going to settle with that.
Well, thank y'all for y'all advice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank everyone for their insight, comments. And we have like a minute left. Hey, Brother Forrest, you're on the line. You said you were going to give me a number today. But I really did.
Hamp, I believe that I can make sure that you get that number. If you text me your phone number, and I was looking for you and Everett, I had a nice show on Wednesday, and it was about honoring the woman in your life Wednesday night. And I was looking for you guys to come and bring some music and some noise and some more singing and stuff. But I have a couple more shows like that's going on, and I was trying to get in touch with. If you send me your phone number, Everett, I can be able to give you that number that he was talking to you about in the meeting. I'll text it back to you, okay?
I think I have your number, but I see a group text that comes out. I'm going to give you my number right now over the phone.
The number that's mine is the 5554.
Okay. I'll pull it out of there.
Send it to me. Okay, because I have that number that he was telling you to call today. So
I don't remember if it was
sure.
for Jorge, but it was for something else. I wrote a note.
Yeah,
down.
George. It's George Jorge.
Okay.
All right, so I'll send it to you.
Like I say, well, we stopped this recording. I need to know to call him to put it up, and I need to get back able to log back on so I can start deleting those off my computer as well.
And that would be Leon would be the one that can help you because you have to download some specific steps for you to do it on the computer, which is different from the phone. But we ain't get a chance to cover that in the meeting. But Leon would be the person.
I'm on the app. And when I try to log in, it says I got to go to the website. But I'm going to work on that here in the next couple of days.
All right. But Leon could take you step by step, and it don't take that long.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
That's what I had to do.
I'll look up your number and shoot you a text in the morning.
All right.
Okay. Hamp, you got any further comments? Angela, your show tonight. Do you have any comments, Angela?
No, I just want to thank everyone for participating and answering some questions. And I just really appreciate everyone on tonight. Thank you for coming in and participating.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you for always having great topics.
All right, y'all. Stay blessed.
Thank
Have
you,
a peaceful night.
You
Good night.
Good night.